What I want you to do first is what we're going to do is we're going to start with the lead and a topic sentence for all those topics that I've put above. So above, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 different topics. So the one for the beach, what I decided to use was my favorite place to visit is the beach. Okay, if you're from Canada, remember favorite has got OU in it. If you're American, the spelling for favorite is FAVOR, right? Just like color. In America, it's OR. In Canada, it's OUR. So I'm Canadian, so I'm going to put the OUR there. So my favorite place to visit is the beach. So that's my title. So again, when you're typing, make sure you center your title. Title is always underlined. The first word, or sorry, the first letter in each of the words is capital. Now, my topic sentence is going to be my favorite place to visit is the beach, but I don't want to just state it, right? Because that's boring. But I want you to use, it's almost like using your senses. I want to see, hear, taste, smell before. I want you to take the reader to the beach first, and then you hit that person with the topic sentence. So I'll give you an example. So what I typed was, the sun is shining. The clear waves were crystals in the ocean. So they're not really crystals, right? So we're using metaphors, similes, personification. So we're going to use different forms of figurative language in our writing to make your stories, your paragraphs, your essays come to life. Okay? The sun is shining. The clear waves were crystals in the ocean, cooling me down. And the countless number of activities to do and explore. So in brackets, I put, that's my lead. That's what I mean by a lead. You're taking me to the beach. Then you're gonna what's next is, my favorite place to visit is the beach. You're not going to add any details to that. Those are supporting details. A topic sentence stands on its own. What I mean by that is it's not physically on its own on a separate page or separated. It's usually not short, but it's not a run-on sentence with commas and all these details into it. You want to write the topic sentence where it says, my favorite place to visit is the beach. That's it. That tells the reader now. So that's as far as we're gonna add the details to it after. But what I want you to do is, going back, you can, now the beach could be anything. Some people don't like the beach, or the one place in the world that I always wanted to visit was the beach. So it could be your favorite place. It may not be or there are many things to do at the beach. So there's different topics that you can write about the beach. So what I want you to do is, in the spaces below, if you're not connected to Google Classroom, it's quite all right. All you have to do is, on a piece of paper, write the topic is going to be the beach. And what I want you to do is start with a clear topic, a lead, and a topic sentence. What I want you to do, we'll spend a few minutes on that. What I want you to do is try beach, pizza, or your favorite food. Could be spaghetti, could be lasagna, could be whatever it is, hamburgers, whatever it is, tofu, I don't know, anything that you want, whatever your favorite food is. Something about friend or friendship, a trip that you love to go on, or a trip that you've been. Don't worry about your choice. Let's do the first 4 first, and we'll listen to some of the leads, interesting leads or topic sentences that you have. And in the class, we'll be sharing as well. I'd like you to share your ideas as well while we're doing the class. So spend about 5 minutes, and I'll take questions while you're, but I want you to start writing right now. And I want you to come up with a creative lead and a topic sentence for beach, food, friend, or trip. Your choice. If you have time, you can do that one after. Okay, let me stop sharing. While you're typing away, does anyone want to share what they wrote about any one of them? Does anyone want to share?
Not right now.
Not right now?
I haven't started it yet.
You haven't started yet. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll leave it at that, and I'll move on. And that way you can get a taste of other things as well. So what I'm going to do is I'll do the reading comprehension next, just so you have an idea of all the different things that we do. And that way, when we actually get settled into the class, and if you're going to be part of the class, then we'll take it slower, right? I never go this fast. I just want to, today is supposed to be a demonstration where I'm showing you and your parents what I have to offer. So the paragraph writing, I'll leave and you can type away, and if you can listen or type while I'm speaking as well, that's okay as well. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to do reading comprehension so you have an idea as well. Okay, so you listen to, usually I'll let you read it, but I'll read it for you right now so that way you can listen because not everybody has access to it. So the sun was shining on the sparkling grass. It was morning and the grass was still wet.
Wait.
I just need you, I just need you to listen. That's all I need you to do. And the grass was wet from the dew. We were excited to see sunshine after days of rain. Sydney and I were tired of being stuck inside. Mom, can we go out and play? I shouted. You and Sydney need to clean your rooms first. I'm excited to get some fresh air in the house. It's time for a good spring cleaning, Mom answered. Sydney and I looked at each other and groaned. We wanted to go outside, not be stuck inside cleaning, but we know we could go play as soon as we finish cleaning. We decided to make it a race to see who could clean the rooms the fastest. But we had to clean up right away. Otherwise, Mom would make us redo it. 3, 2, 1, go, we shouted. I picked up all my clothes and put them in the hamper. I tucked in my sheets and pulled the comforter over my bed so it looked like a magazine picture. All of my books went back on the bookshelf, and my toys and games went back in the closet. Done! I heard Sydney shout from her room down the hall. Oh man, I was just about to shout it out. Good job, Sydney, I said. Sydney jumped up and down. I never finished cleaning before you, Aiden, she exclaimed. She looked so excited. I couldn't be mad at my little sister. Let's go outside, I said. We walked out into the kitchen where Mom had all the ingredients out to make her famous apple pie. Can we go play now? I asked Mom. Sure. I was just going to get this pie in the oven and start cleaning. Make sure you stay in the yard, and if you play nicely, you'll come get some pie in a few short hours, she replied. Sydney and I played in the yard. We rode bikes, played on the swing set, and made up adventures to go on. A couple of hours later, we could smell the pie in the oven. Sydney said, I'm hungry. Let's go see if that pie is ready. When we got into the house, we could see Mom vacuuming in the living room. Sydney and I walked into the kitchen, see if the pie looked ready. Mom had set the pie to cool by the kitchen window. Better figure it out before Mom sees the pie and thinks that we did it, I answered. We ran back outside and sat down under the tree. What do you think could have happened, Sydney? Maybe Mom dropped the pie when she took it out of the oven, Sydney replied. Is there evidence of that? I asked. I don't remember. We probably have to go back and check around the oven to see if there's a mess. Let's think of the other possibilities first. Then we can go back and search the scene of the crime. I would say that maybe the cat got into the pie, but we don't have a cat, so that can't be it. Sydney and I sat outside for a while trying to think of ideas. Birds kept flying in and out of the tree above us. They gave me an idea. I looked towards the kitchen with the wide open window. Hey, I bet some of the birds smelled the pie and wanted a piece. It's right by the open window. We should check for the bird footprints, I said. You're right, Sydney exclaimed. And if there aren't any footprints, we can look for other clues while we're in the kitchen. We walked back in the kitchen. Mom was still vacuuming. Sydney and I tiptoed over the pie to search for evidence. Next to the pie, we saw the filling and one small footprint. That looks like a bird footprint, right? I asked Sydney. She agreed. We heard the vacuum turn off and Mom walked into the kitchen. What are you doing by the pie? She asked. We came back in from playing outside and wanted some pie because it smelled delicious. But when we got in here, the pie was a mess, I said, Sydney added. We had to solve the mystery of why it's broken in pieces because your pies are always beautiful. Aiden had an idea that some birds might have gotten into it. Look, there's a footprint. Oh goodness, Mom answered. You guys are right, I guess. I'll have to get the screen back on the kitchen window. Well, what do you guys think about going to get some ice cream since the birds ate our pie? Yay, we shouted and dashed off into the car, to the car. Solving mysteries sure makes you hungry. Now, we've got reading comprehension here. So what do we need to have? So every time I give you a poem, a story, a short story to read, a different type of text, I'm going to give you questions each week, right?
Wait, is it even possible for a pie to be broken?
That's not what I'm trying to describe, right? It's broken into pieces. Absolutely, it can be. So the goal is to have your answers need to have a clear topic sentence, clearly answering the question, and when you can, using specific examples or proof from the text to support your answer. So, for example, how did Sydney and Aiden feel when they saw the messed up pie? Highlight evidence to support. So how did Sydney and Aiden feel? How do you think they felt? And how would we start this as a topic sentence? How would we write this? Who can help me? Normally you would be doing this, but I'm just going to go over what we need to have it. So Sydney, we're going to use, the question is, Sydney, how did Sydney and Aiden feel? Well, Sydney and Aiden felt, how did they feel when they found the pie?
Bad.
Bad. Do you feel bad? What else can we use? Bad is like one of those dead words. It's not really a word that we use.
Sad.
Yeah.
Bad, yeah.
Sad,
Shocked.
bad,
Angry.
angry. Yeah, it could be. Keep going. What else?
Surprised.
Surprised. Yeah.
I typed that first.
So what we want to do first is if you have yours opened up as well, is start off with a clear topic sentence, but don't give reasons for it, right? The reasons come afterwards. Whenever you're doing reading comprehension, never ever clump everything all together, right? We want to separate, tell the reader that what you plan on doing with the rest of the answer. Sydney and Aiden felt surprised when they saw the messed up pie. And then you always say, I know this because what happened? How do you know this? That's when your support comes in. How do we know this? In your own words, how do you know that how did they feel? They felt surprised or terrible or what? How do you know this? I know this because they were what? Shocked when they first walked in after playing? They were shocked at the condition of the pie when they came inside from playing. Now, this is your evidence, but you also can include, is there a quote? Did they say anything? Did they say anything when they saw the pie? What was said when they saw the pie? Let me go back.
Sydney said that they were happy.
Right here.
Pies
Sydney asked, Mom's pies never look like that.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. So, and I'm just going to give you an example here. They came inside from playing. In the text just means story or poem or whatever. In the text, Sydney said, comma, Mom's pies never look like that. Okay, so what's important here? There's three things you have to understand. And a lot of kids don't do this, especially when in my 25 years of teaching. It's very important that you have a clear topic sentence, right? Clear topic sentence uses part of the question, rewords it, and makes it into a statement. Notice that the question mark is now gone. How did Sydney and Aiden feel when they saw the messed up pie? Sydney and Aiden felt surprised. Felt is past tense, right? Felt surprised, ed, past tense, when they saw the messed up pie. That's an overall statement, right? That overall statement with the rest of my answer is going to talk about this particular statement, but there's no proof in it. You never ever clump it all together. Then second part is, in your own words, answer the question. I know this because they were shocked at the condition of the pie when they came back inside. Okay, so that is your answer to the question. This last part, that's the proof. That's the proof that you have to provide. In the text, Sydney said, mom's pies never look like that. So notice what I did here. I had a clear topic sentence. Second, I answered the question in my own words. And finally, I used a quote as proof. That's what it is. And that was what gives you, if you're from Ontario, we call a level 4 answer. A level 4 answer is like an A. And that's what gives you the level 4 answer, the A answer, the A+ answer kind of idea, is having those three. And now this is a very short question, but in that short question, we came up with 3 distinctive things to have whenever you're writing reading comprehension. Okay, notice that this is a reading question, but we're actually writing it, right? Because they can't, unless you're doing oral reading, I can't listen to whether you truly understand the text or not. This proves that you understand what the text is. All right, so what I want you to try is, we'll skip number 2 because a retell of the story from mom's point of view is more of a fun writing activity. You can do that on your own. You guys can try number 3. So you can try that one. I'll leave that up because I've already read the story to you. Why did Sydney and Aiden run back outside after they saw the messed up pie? And then how would have the story changed if they arrived in the kitchen with mom standing there? So why did they run back outside? If you have a raised hand, you can just ask me. What's your question? Somebody has a question?
I think I might have an answer.
You have an answer? Okay, so tell me, why do you think Sydney and Aiden ran back outside?
Their mother would, if the mother arrived with Sydney and Aiden standing at the messed up pie, she'll think that they did it.
Absolutely. Yeah, good. So now I want you to put that into a statement. You kind of remove the question mark that's there. You're going to write that Sydney and Aiden ran back outside after
they saw the messed up pie, but because if they were standing there and their mom arrived, then and their mother would think
would have blamed them. Good.
Yeah.
Good. And then is there proof? You have to find proof for me.
Yeah.
So and then what I want you to do is
I don't have to remember what they said, but I think it was in the passage.
If you have the Google Classroom, you can scroll up and find out what was said. But basically, that's something where you can add to those details. Okay, so I want you guys to try it. I want to listen to a few responses. Take a few minutes, and then how would the story have changed if they arrived in the kitchen with mom standing there? So you can have two parts to it. And if you're doing two parts to it, it should be two separate paragraphs. It shouldn't be the same answer. Because whenever you have different ideas, right, you need to have two different paragraphs when you're responding to something like that. Okay, you can mute yourself and try writing that out. I'll just type in a simple Sydney and Aiden ran back outside after they saw the messed up pie. I'm going to put a period there because I'm not going to put because this kind of states what they did. Then I'm going to say they did this because that way the sentence doesn't become long and you know it just goes on and on like a run-on sentence. They did this because they were afraid that mom would blame them. And then if you can find it in the story, comma, and then you can find, oops, I won't put it in there, but you can, there's a quote. Always use a quote to help with your answer. When that one's done, so you always use a quote. In the story, it says that, and you can always go back and find a quote for that particular one in the story. Now, would the story change if mom, how would the story change if mom was there? How would the story change if they arrived in the kitchen with mom standing there? I need a clear topic sentence. I don't need one with the answer in it. So the story would change if they arrived in the kitchen with mom standing there. What would happen? What if they walked in and mom was already there?
Their mom will be suspicious and kind of.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Now this one can go any way you want because this is your answer. It could be that. It could be that mom doesn't blame them because she was there and the kids weren't there, or she could blame them as well. Right? So she could blame them and say, I can't believe you did this. So this one is not necessarily you need a quote from this is your own point of view when you're giving this part of the answer. The story would change if they arrived in the kitchen with mom standing there. And then you provide me with evidence here. And it could be good or bad. It could be that Sydney and Aiden went into the kitchen, mom was standing there, and mom said, I can't believe that you did this to the pie. But mom, it wasn't us. We were outside playing. So it could be that. Or she could say, they came in and said, can you believe what just happened to our pie? And the kids will be like, oh my gosh, everyone could be shocked. So that could be a different way. So it all depends on how you want it to be answered. Okay. And the last one, is Aiden a good brother? So here, if he is or not, Aiden is a wonderful brother to his sister, Sydney. Or maybe he's a bad brother. We don't know. But always have a clear topic sentence. But notice that I stopped it. I didn't give evidence. The evidence is next. And after you answer the question next, then you look for, is there a quote in the story that proves that Aiden's a really good brother? Is he a good brother or not? So let's go back to the top. They had this competition. They had to clean their rooms. What happened with the cleaning the room?
Sydney won.
Yeah, well, Sydney said done. I heard Sydney shout out from the room. So
Aiden congratulated Sydney.
very good. That's a good one. Oh man, I was just about to shout it out. Good job, Sydney. See that? if you weren't a good brother, you would probably, if you were a really good brother, you say you can always congratulate someone. So there is the proof right there. If you're a pretty bad brother, you probably yell at your sister for that. I wanted to beat you. I can't believe you did this to me. And they start fighting, right? So that's how you know you're not a good brother. But look at this. He congratulated her. And then Sydney jumped up, and I never finished before you, she exclaimed. She looked so excited. So that would be the proof. So whenever you're writing out this answer, so Aiden is a wonderful brother to his sister. Sydney, in your own words, you have to remember, you have to answer it. Don't put the quote in yet. You'll say, I know this because they do a lot of things together. First of all, they do a lot of things together. They're playing together, right? Sometimes that's one thing. Aiden is a great brother. He plays with his sister. So you put that in there. He's also, he encourages her and he supports her. They had a competition to fix their bed, and Sydney won, and Aiden congratulated her, period. Then you write in the text or in the story, Aiden said, great job, Sydney, and put the quotes. So there you've got clear topic sentence. You've answered the actual question. You've provided evidence, and you've also found proof. And now proof is not always a dialogue. So if you look up, when I'm looking for quotes, when I say look for quotes from the story, quotes is not always someone actually speaking. It could just be a sentence or so, the narrator speaking, or it just could be a sentence from the story or from the poem that you're using to help support it. And that would be a quote, because you're quoting another author's work. So a quote is not always going to be dialogue, someone talking, okay? So let's not get that mixed up. So it could be someone speaking. It could be just the narrator writing the actual story, okay? So that's another thing that we can do in my class if you join. Not today, obviously. I'm doing overviews today. So obviously, if it was the class, you'd have plenty of time to work on this, and I can check through. And we usually have maybe a writing piece or a reading piece that we're working on every single day. So if it's about an hour class, half the time on each one, where you can work on your skills, and that way I can scroll through the different classrooms, or the different students, to see what you guys are doing and how you're organizing your ideas. We're going to be sharing it, so you can, read your sentence to me, read your opening paragraph to me, so that way other students can see and hear it as well. Okay, so last part. So now the story, what I have from the story is, I'm going to give you sometimes story prompts, a quote or something, and you have to turn it into an interesting story. So if you're part of the class, when we actually do this story, it says, the hallway was busy. Please turn off your mic. That way we don't have interference. So if you're not talking, please turn off your mic. The hallway was busy, but when I walked up to my locker, I couldn't believe what I saw when I swung open the door. There was a note stuck to the metal. I opened it and read. Now, that quote will be somewhere in your story. What you're going to do is, I'm going to go back to the, open up the story, right? So I've got criteria that we need, what we need for an interesting story. Opening paragraph. So what we'll do is, if you're part of the writing class, in this introduction, so our stories technically will have around 5 different paragraphs minimum. You can have way more than 5, but your story should never, ever, ever be one paragraph. It needs to be several paragraphs. So when you're doing your story writing, opening paragraph, in this, you are going to introduce characters and creatively introduce them. Right? Tell a little bit about them. Hey, Jake, you're always late for school. Hurry up. Come on. Jake's running from behind. So, so you said a little quote in there to say, okay, one of the characters' name is Jake. He's late, and he's always late. So he's one of those kids who's probably always late for school. You know what I mean? So right there, you kind of get a feel for that character. Oh, they're going to school. oh, so now we've got the setting that we're going to be introducing. So that's what's going to be when you're writing, whenever you're doing your story writing. And then we're going to finish with the beginning stages of the rising action. The rising action is leading to a climactic, it's almost like the climax of a story. And I used to always tell the kids, it's the setting, it's almost like if they're gonna, I know it's sad to say, to rob a bank, just say bank robbers. The opening paragraph talks about the paragraph and how the friends are getting together, how they're planning on robbing a bank. The rising action is the planning stages of it. They're driving up to the bank kind of idea. The climax of the story is the actual robbery itself. And then the falling action is them trying to run away and then the police chasing them. And then the resolution, so remember, so that's the opening paragraph is describing the characters. The rising action is the planning stages of the robbery, just say. The climax of the story is the actual bank robbery itself with all the action that's taking place in it. And then the falling action is them trying to get away, that the escape or the police chasing them. And then the falling action, the resolution is the ending. They got caught, they did something bad, they're all going to jail kind of idea. So that's what I mean by story writing when it's kind of goes up in this up and down kind of, it's like a pyramid when we're doing something like that. And I'm going to switch cameras in a second. I'll stop sharing. What happens is it goes like this, right? So you have your intro, and here you have your characters and your setting where everything takes place. And here you have your rising action. Up here, you have your climax. That's what I talked about, that bank. That's the actual robbery, the bank robbery right there. So the climax, and then the falling action. And finally, the resolution. The resolution is how things were resolved. What happened? Was the princess saved at the end? Was she trapped in the tower? Then the knight went to go and save her as the climax. Then when they tried to escape, they lived, the resolution is they lived happily ever after. You know what so that's another way to put it.